r/ask Reddit. What show never declined in quality? The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. They have always been complete pieces of shit. No decline in quality is possible. Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. I mean, when it comes to this show, viewers either love it or hate it. Fans of the show tune in for the tears, the screaming, and the inevitable jealous fits. But at the same time, it's just plain bad too for various reasons. Most important being the fact that the entire Bachelor franchise suffers from a serious lack of diversity, and also that it just sucks. It's heavily edited piece of crap. Same for Married at First Sight. Jeopardy with Alex Trebek. So consistent. Most people here have never been in a world without Alex on Jeopardy. Started hosting in 1984. You underestimate the amount of 40+-year-olds on Reddit. With a median age of 30.6 years in the world, then we are only left deciding which group here refers to. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Tales of Ba Sing Se and Zuko alone are probably some of the greatest episodes in television history. Leaves from the Vine. Falling so slow. It actually significantly improved in quality as it went along, linearly, all the way up to the end. A Past Lost Days just hit different, man. Why that one episode has stuck with me throughout the years. Even convinced me to start volunteering at animal shelters when I was younger. I love that they gave every character a story and room to develop, and didn't hold back from showing the ugly side of the world. Yip yip. Bob Ross. The Joy of Painting edit. Obligatory thanks for the gold, kind stranger. I can't afford to hate people. I don't have that kind of time. Bob Ross. I live by this quote. Band of Brothers. Thank you for the Reddit gold and silvers, kind strangers. Glad to see such a great show has such a great following. You know the rules, everyone. You see someone mention Band of Brothers, you rewatch Band of Brothers. Gravity Falls. Breaking Bad. It somehow got better and better. That last 8 or so episodes was the best entertainment of that year. IMHO. It was like one long, terrific movie. What an ass kicker. I was sobbing during Ozymandias. You're the smartest person I know, but somehow you're too dumb to figure out he made up his mind 10 minutes ago. My name is Isaac Schrader and you can go duck yourself. Batman Beyond. It's a shame we haven't had new episodes since 2001. I loved that show. Wasn't afraid to try new ideas and explore its new Batman. Couple some great writing with some utterly fantastic art, not to mention some incredibly uncommon music for a kids show, industrial, and you have an unforgettable show. Is it just me, or were the themes in that show also more dark and adult-like than what you see in kids cartoons today? Mr. Bean. Did you know Mr. Bean only had like 15 episodes, yet it felt like seasons because it was so good? There were movies too. I sit in the corner and look at the pictures. Fawlty Towers. 12 episodes. Perfect. I actually don't think the second season was half as good as the first. Blackadder. On the other hand, I think Blackadder got better each season. They got the finale spot on for me. Totally agree. First season has some good lines, but it's a product of its time and trying a totally new thing. 2-4 hit their stride increasingly well. Malcolm in the Middle. It just gets better and better. Seems like everything Bryan Cranston is a part of is amazing. He was in a Godzilla movie, which was okay. Godzilla parts were amazing. Human parts were okay. The Golden Girls. At first I thought you were a slut and wore too much makeup. I was wrong. You don't wear too much makeup. You wanna have a side bet with me, Blanche? I would, but everything you have is so damn ugly. Late 80s. Me and my grandma in the kitchen at 2 in the morning drinking tea, playing cards, and watching Golden Girls reruns on the little 13-inch TV she had in her kitchen. So many great memories, and the show holds up really well to this day. The Twilight Zone. I mean the original series, not the reboots. The writing on that show was always superb, largely in part because of Rod Serling, who wrote 99 out of the 156 episodes. My favorite line. It may be said with a degree of assurance that not everything that meets the eye is as it appears. Mine. If in any quest for magic, in any search for sorcery, witchery, legerdemain, first check the human spirit. The scary door never declined, either. You're on a scenic route through a state recreational area known as the human mind. You ask a passerby for directions, only to find he has no face or something. Suddenly up ahead, a door in the road. You swerve, narrowly avoiding the scary door. I have combined the DNA of all the world's most dangerous creatures to make the world's most dangerous animal. It turns out it's man. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's sad that it seems like what he did is needed so badly right now, but no one has that kind of power anymore. Blackadder. I dearly wish there were more seasons, but on the other hand, I'd be worried that the quality might not be as high. However, I will always try to have a cunning plan ready. There's a new one coming out in 2999. It said so at the end of the 1999 Blackadder film. Freaks and Geeks. Every time I watch it, I lament over there only being one season. I actually think it perfectly sums up that part of life. It ends on a cliffhanger because life goes on, but we always look back on those years like we never had enough time. That there was more we could have done. More stories to tell. Very bittersweet and almost poignant that it ended in the manner it did. A perspective I've never considered. Well said. The IT Crowd. It was funny the whole way through. I'm so glad they brought back Richmond in the final episodes. He played such a small role, but I love him so much. That scene where Jen follows him into a room and he's propped up in the top corner was just priceless. Tom and Jerry. The original series. The newer ones are pure garbage. The new ones are pretty bad. The violence was one of the best parts of the show and they minimized it in the new episodes. Black Books. Fun fact, I almost lost my job at a bookstore because I copied the on-phone sticky note move from the pilot episode with a rude customer. I spent 7 years at that store. Black Books spoke to my crushed retail soul. Phineas and Ferb. Doobie doobie dooba doobie doobie dooba. Perry Agent P. He's a semi-aquatic egg-laying mammal of action. Pushing Daisies didn't get a chance to, but I like to think it wouldn't have. Just about every Brian Fuller show needs to be on here. My personal favorite is Dead Like Me. That show had so much potential. BoJack Horseman. The first season is the worst cause it seems like it's just gonna be another adult cartoon with swears and wacky animals that talk like people and an a-hole led character. It's when the a-holeness actually has consequences that extend beyond being wrapped up in a single episode that you start to realize it's doing something interesting. It's insane how it sucks you in with this kind of dark comedy premise and ends up being this really realistic dark take of mental health. I struggle to recommend this to people because it's not a feel-good show, but it's so good. I'll be the first to admit no matter how much I heard about the show I was always skeptic about starting it because of the animation style. Like, how could a show with a cartoon half horse half man possibly be good? Holy shit was I glad when I started watching it. Just finished rewatching seasons 1-5 to remember everything that happened before watching season 6. I forgot just how good a lot of this show was. It really is one of the most emotional shows out there. Firefly. It had no time to decline. Like a leaf on the wind. Fleabag. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was perfection. I watched season 2 3 times. Phoebe deserved all the awards she got. 6 episodes feels like not nearly enough, but there was not a single wasted second of screen time in season 2. One of my favorite seasons of television ever. PWB is a goddess. For me it's Hotel Hell and Kitchen Nightmares. Some of the funniest TV ever. Is there anything I ate today that wasn't microwaved? The salad. The sal. You ducking donut, of course you don't microwave a salad. I always enjoy the bad puns like chimichanga, more like chuck it in the bin, or crab cakes, more like crap cakes, and then he looks at the camera with this dorky smile like he thinks he just cracked the funniest joke ever. Sometimes he doesn't even try for a pun. Naan bread, more like a ducking, donkey's dong. Parks and Rec. The first season wasn't good, and it was all uphill. Even then the first season was them just trying to find themselves. That show makes me laugh the same as when I first watched it. I also love a good wholesome ending. They nailed it. The Good Place. I honestly think it got better, and possible unpopular opinion, but I'm glad it ended how and when it did. Dragging it on for another season would have killed it, and I think it ended exactly how I imagined it would. I used to get super upset when shows ended, but honestly I am the world's biggest fan of planned endings where writers simply say we have no lore story to tell. Too many shows get cancelled too early or keep going until you actively resent them. Shows like TGP and Schitt's Creek found their happiest middle. The Good Place. They had the whole thing planned out and ended exactly when they needed to instead of constantly making new seasons that weren't necessary. MASH. Gravity Falls. The characters never became flanderized, the plot stayed cohesive and the comedy remained hilarious. One of Disney's finest animated TV cartoons. There's actually a reason behind this. The creator specifically decided to end it because they started running out of episode ideas and they didn't want Gravity Falls to end up like Simpsons or SpongeBob. King of the Hill had a high standard of quality almost throughout its entire run. Almost. It was more individual episodes I didn't like in later seasons as opposed to entire seasons. Joseph Gribble being redrawn as permanently aging. They pulled it off okay. The one permanent character added on later I didn't like was Lucky. He just wasn't funny and his slip on some PP lawsuit story wasn't that good emo. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. The Wire. Omar Cumming. Samurai Jack. Always a classic. The Dong Van Dyke Show not only held up over its run, but barely seems dated by anything but its technology today. Cole Reiner, creator, intentionally avoided anything relevant to society at the time of filming with an eye on reruns. That is part of why it seems less dated. The only thing I recall that kind of snuck in was the cast doing the twist, but then, seeing MTM twisting in those capri pants was worth it. Schitt's Creek. The Sopranos. But did it ever really in? Justified. I really don't know how this show got so few fans. Just love it, and everybody I told about it and tried it loves it too. 30 Rock. Futurama. Frasier. Scrubs. As far as I'm concerned season 9 did not happen. Weird that you'd mention season 9, seeing as it stopped at 8. Mr. Robot. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.